Hello and welcome to How to Deal When the Shit Gets Real podcast. I'm Marietta.
And I'm Connie. And we're two organizing freaks, I guess. I don't know.
Would be the right word.
Our whole family, we're all freaks.
So, yes, we've touched on this a little bit, but we wanted to dedicate an entire episode to the idea of organizing, decluttering, purging, all that good stuff.
You know, I feel like this really goes good because you're in the beginning of the new year, you know? Because, I mean, it's one of the times because of everybody's New Year's resolutions where you end up purging and getting rid of shit and organizing and all that.
Right. No, I agree. And, you know, you're about to put away all your Christmas decorations and maybe you need to organize those. I know I need to because
I know I do.
The movers destroyed the boxes and they look like they've been through the apocalypse. So I at the very least need some new boxes, and I might even get those plastic containers that literally like hold ornaments. Like they have an ornament slot. My mom has them,
mm-hmm.
and she loves them.
I have a cloth version of that. It was like $5 from Aldi. I was like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
I also need to get new containers because some of the containers I have are older and like small. I'm like, okay, if I went and they have these like bigger, deeper black, really they stack very nicely boxes at Menards for $7. I'm like, I bet you I could fit, because these containers are kind of small, I bet you I could fit all of my Christmas stuff in like 3 of these black containers versus 6 of these other containers that are like way too small.
Well, there you go. Yeah, I
need some space.
I just need to do something, and I have too many lights and lights that aren't working, so I need to like combine the lights that work and the lights that don't, and you know.
Oh, I do.
Fun stuff. And I actually, before we got on here, read a really cute article, and it was giving 10 creative decluttering tips that I really liked, so we'll have some of those too.
Ooh, so what was your favorite one?
Actually, one of my favorite ones was to give one item away every day, because then at the end of the year, you've gotten rid of 365 things.
Oh, I do like that, but I think that's also a pain in the fucking ass.
It could be, but it definitely would be for one person, but I feel like between me, Kyle, and Jackson, like we could easily find one thing a day that isn't being used or whatever. We could give it away.
Well, it's not that. It's that like, so I'm going to go to Goodwill. And like, I hate just dropping off like one thing. When I go to Goodwill, it's like I save up all of my stuff, or like I know that I'm going to go through all of my clothes and I'm going to have a full bag of clothes. Like I would hate to just go to Goodwill and be like, here's a sweater.
No, and it wasn't saying that. It was like doing one thing a day, but then you fill the entire trash bag and then you take the whole trash bag to Goodwill.
Oh,
and then you start a new one. But it was like just a way to consistently, like every day you are getting rid of something. And it may only be one thing, but like it said, by the end of the year, you've given away or gotten rid of 365 things. And if you up it to 2, then that's 730. So
I still like it, especially if you have like a ton of stuff. Like my mom, she could probably get rid of like garbage bags for this stuff.
Yeah.
But her husband will never allow it, and he is semi a hoarder. And I keep on telling her, I'm like, man, if it was me, I would be going through his shit like no one's business. Oh, what happened? I don't know. You never use it. You'll never even like realize it's gone. Oh, darn.
Right. Exactly. See, and my dad is the total opposite. Like, he just throws things away. And then my mom's like, what happened to this? And my dad's like, oh, no, I probably purged it.
Yeah, that's for sure me. I'm constantly going through my clothes, his clothes. I know I'm going to have like a few jackets to give away this Christmas after Christmas is done. And like, then there was like things like at first Tom's like, no, everything fits us. I'm like, you've lost 45 pounds. An XL will look and does look ridiculous on you.
Yeah.
You'll look like you're wearing a plaid dress.
Like you could keep one of them to do yard work or whatever and then get rid of the rest of them.
and I finally like convinced him, or I just said it enough times that he then believed me. I
Yeah,
don't know
yeah.
whatever came first. And it's the same thing with his t-shirts. It's like I always say, like, no, you need to get rid of the shirts that are holy. Like, it looks awful. Keep a couple for whatever, like working outside, but you need to get rid of most of them that
Yeah.
have holes. And it's like I say it enough times that eventually he's like, yeah, I don't want all these shirts. I'm like, finally, thank you. I have been saying this for forever, but did not want to be rude and go through your shit and throw them out without you knowing.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And I think Kyle and I are both pretty much on the same plane with that. Like we both do not like clutter at all. So, and we move so often too that we pretty much don't really have too much stuff that we don't use or isn't used.
Yeah, or quote unquote clutter.
Yeah, I could go through my clothes for sure, because I have an insane amount of t-shirts. So I could probably do that. I just haven't.
I know. And then there's some things that you're like, well, I'm holding on to this for sentimental purposes. And I really
Yeah.
like it, and I didn't wear it as much. But it's like there were stuff like summer clothes wise that I'm like, well, I don't want to get rid of this. Like, yeah, I know I didn't wear it this summer, but I also had absolutely nothing to do this
Mm-hmm.
summer.
Yeah.
Like I'll just keep it for one more year just in case.
Yeah. Well, that's like I had a really nice like Ethan and Alan table that was my grandma's, like a really like nice table, and it had these flaps that folded down, and the one broke off. And for the longest time I was like, I'm going to fix it. I'm going to fix it. I'm going to fix it. And finally, cuz like I was like it's expensive. It's my grandma's. I have to fix it. And finally I'm like, I'm just going to put it on the curb. Somebody will come take it who actually is a project person and actually fix it up, and they'll be thrilled because it's an Ethan and Alan table. But I just can't leave it sitting in my garage anymore. So I finally got rid of it.
Nixed it.
And I'm kind of on the edge of getting rid of our kitchen table because that is another thing that is my grandma's and I love it. And it's solid oak, but like I feel like it's getting on its last leg. Like Kyle leans on it or like puts his elbows on it and the whole table, like it doesn't do it like really far, but it like leans. And I'm like,
Ooh.
ugh, I think we might need to get a new table. And he's like, no, I don't want to make you do that. It's your grandma's. And I'm like, yeah, but it's making
Could
me
he
really
fix
nervous. Like he probably could. I'm thinking maybe we could put it like in an informal dining room where it doesn't get used that much, but then we still have it. And then we have like a different table for everyday use, like when we have our own house. Because I really don't want to get rid of it because it is, like I said, it's solid oak. It's just rusty underneath and it's getting kind of wobbly and I don't know.
I think it needs like you need to turn it over and take a good look at it and see if you can fix it. See, that's like a problem. That's a problem that absolutely sucks. But I'm lucky in the fact that my father-in-law is basically like a carpenter in a way. He used to like do and make custom cabinetry, and he like makes like a lot of like random like wood shit. Like they made like a wood coffin bookshelf for my brother-in-law. They made all kinds of stuff. So I would like, for me, I'd be like, okay, hey, I have like a question and some like, can you help me with this? And then they like Tom and his dad would fix it, no problem.
Yeah,
so
I'd have to have.
I know you could definitely fix it. You probably just need some
I need
pieces and stuff.
I definitely need somebody who knows what they're doing because it has leaves in it, so it has tracks that pulls apart. So it definitely needs somebody that knows what they're doing because if you put a screw in the wrong place, the leaves won't work.
Oh yeah,
so
for sure.
I definitely need somebody that knows. And my best friend's husband is kind of a carpenter too, so maybe he can help us. But yeah, I definitely need somebody that knows what they're doing. You can't just like get under there and start screwing stuff or the leaves won't work.
Yeah, for sure. But you should like go and take a look and see what the actual problem is.
It probably is missing a screw because the first time it got taken apart, we couldn't figure out how to put it back together because it's not as easy as you think it is.
Oh, I'm
and
sure.
My dad and I spent forever trying to figure out like, well, does this go here and does this go here? So it probably is missing some screws. So yeah, we just have to figure it out. But I think
it is a good idea for now to like kind of store it and then get a regular table and then get it like fixed and have it as a dining room table so that it's not used as much and you still get to keep it.
Yeah, so that's what I think I'm going to do. We will still fix it. and probably just put it, in like a casual dining room and get a bigger, more efficient table for the everyday
Kitchen.
use.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I feel like I understand your, the like, I don't really want to get rid of something that's like my grandmother's or whomever, especially because you like now going and like looking for a dining room table or a table in general, none of it's fucking like full hardwood.
No.
It's all that plywood stuff. That's why when my mom got a new dining room table, I'm like, hey, I want you to keep that dining table that was my grandma Wink's, because it's solid oak. It's still in really good condition. It has like a very good, like thick covering on it. So I'm like, no, I want to save that. And they took it apart into pieces. It has like 3 leaves and they put it downstairs in the basement for me. I'm like,
Well, there you go.
And I'm like, and I'll get new chairs for it, because a good solid wood dining table with chairs, you're definitely talking a few grand at minimum.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's the other reason I don't want to get rid of it either, because mine is solid oak too, and they don't make them like that anymore.
Exactly. And I'm like, and if we go and look at it and we put it back together and see like, oh, it does have a lot of wear and tear. Again, I have a father-in-law who can help us refinish it.
Exactly.
But I for sure don't want to get rid of something that's precious. But that's what you have to decide when purging things, is like the sentimental value, the practical use, and like if it's lost that value. Like the one table, you're like, okay, no, this needs to go. It is sentimental value. It's a hard choice, but you did ultimately decide to leave it.
Yeah, there was no way I was going to be able to fix it. Like, they don't even make like the little clasp for it anymore that like open and close it. And it was just like, and it didn't like break off there nicely. It like broke off. Like, I think Bubby went crazy one time and like jumped on it and broke it. And yeah, it had scratches on it. And it was just not, I just didn't have the patience to deal with it. And I wasn't that attached to it. Like, the dining room table is a little different because obviously, first of all, that's worth way more money and it's being used, so that's different. The other one was just sitting in the garage. It was like, okay, we're just going to purge this. And for people out there that are just starting the decluttering process or have anxiety about decluttering or purging or organizing or whatever, one of the best things that I've ever read is start out slow. You can do a lot with just 5 minutes a day, because of course that adds up over time. Just make sure you're not adding back to where you're taking away.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you're new to it and you just want to slowly build momentum, 5 minutes a day will really, get you
or even like
going.
you said, 1 item a day.
Yeah. Or you could do both. You can get rid of 1 item a day and then just start like organizing for 5 minutes. And then you're doing 2 birds with 1 stone, essentially.
So am I the only person, and I'm sure I'm not, because I'm sure you do the same thing, like almost every season I feel like I go through all my closets and reorganize. Like, I reorganize and declutter almost every season, or is it just me?
No, I do. Not necessarily everything. Like I said, I haven't really done my clothes in a while. I think just because my clothes have been separate, like my winter and my summer clothes have been in like 2 different locations for a while. But everything else, yes. Like, I go through the towels and I go through the seasonings and I go through like, other things, just not necessarily my clothes as much.
Yeah, I feel like almost every time I get new items, and it's also probably because of like my closet space. I have such little closet space that like I have to, because if I don't, then it kind of just, the items just start spilling out and they don't have a place.
Yeah.
And and my mom's like, who are you? Because like when I was younger, I didn't want to get rid of anything, but I had all of that closet space. I had a big walk-in closet, so I could keep whatever and it didn't really matter.
Right.
And now I'm like, nope, get rid of it, get rid of it, get rid of it, get rid of it.
No, that's a good idea too. I like that. And I also like the idea, which I'm sure other people have heard, is like with your clothes, like once you wear it, you reverse the hanger, and you do that for like 2 months. And then after 2 months, whatever has never been reversed, you're clearly not going to wear it. and then you get rid of it.
I've heard the same thing, but for a year. Where
That's
you
too
go
long.
well, because of all the different seasons. So maybe you would do that like once per season. So you would do it
Yeah.
from like the end of fall to like the beginning of spring, because I have to, this is how little closet space I have. I have to change out all of my clothes seasonally, put them into space bags and vacuum out the air in those bags to be able to keep my wardrobe.
But at least you know that you need to and you do it.
Yes, and it's also not just for me, it's also for my husband. My husband, technically, his clothes are in two different rooms, which I absolutely loathe.
Yeah.
He has a dresser in our spare bedroom, which is probably going to be moved to our office one of these days. I just haven't done it yet.
Well, yeah, it's a pain in the butt. And, you know, that's another thing you can do though. Like you're talking about things that you need to do. For people that are very visual, you can make a checklist of things that you need to do to get decluttered or organized or purging, whatever you're doing. Make your list of things that you want to do, especially for somebody like me. Like I'm definitely a very visual person. Like I said, I like pen and paper. So I would put it on regular pen and paper and like run through it, where some people might put it in their phone.
And even be like, okay, this weekend I'm going to go through my hall closet. Next weekend I'm going to go through my pantry, like et cetera, et cetera. Because nowadays you can buy, and we've gone over this before too. You can buy so much stuff and like not even realize it.
Yeah, exactly.
And then all of a sudden you're like, wait a minute, I don't even have any space in this closet anymore.
Exactly. And the article that I read also talked about what they call the 4-box method. So you can get 4 boxes, and then of course you label each of them. One is trash, one is giveaway, one is keep, and one is relocate. So then that way it's super easy. You can just start tossing stuff into boxes, and then from there you can take it to the next step.
Nice. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
It reminds me of like, and I don't even remember what this show was called. It was on TLC where they like, you had like 3 piles where like you love it, you hate it, and it was like a maybe or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they do the same thing with like hoarders. If you've ever watched hoarders, it's like trash or donate and then keep.
Yeah.
Because certain things like
Exactly.
there's, certain things just depending on how bad the hoarders are too dirty, or too whatever, and they have to throw it away. Some things they're going to
Doesn't
donate.
work.
Yeah. And then, of course, the things that they want to keep.
Of course. I also find for like, okay, I like using this for when I have like little things. And it kind of goes in like my bathroom storage and in my like our kitchen junk drawer which has like batteries and stuff like that. I like using like small little box containers, like basically like a gift box, one of those like small like ring boxes almost, where you can take the lid separate, and I use both parts and organize them like, okay, these are all the A batteries, these are all the AAA batteries, here's all the tape, here are all my pens and pencils, stuff like that, because then I can like clearly see it and it's not just kind of thrown in the junk drawer, because that's my biggest irritant.
Yeah, the junk drawer drives me crazy. And like most of the time when I do go through it, I just end up throwing it all away. But at like the time, because a lot of times now I have Jackson's schoolwork, so like I feel like I have to hang on to it. And then like 2 months later, I'm like, why do I have this picture that he drew like 2 months ago? Like garbage. Like, and don't get me wrong, obviously I hang on to some of his pictures, but I'm not going to hang on to it every single one that he draws every single day.
Yeah. Well, I mean, our junk drawer is more of like a utilitarian kind of thing where it's like it's batteries, duct tape, it's stuff that you're going to use, and it's honestly it's the kitchen drawer by our like back door, and it's just the most convenient place that we have to put all of this stuff, because like it's like, when do you need all of these like batteries and duct tape and stuff? And the kitchen is in the middle of our house, so it just kind of made the most sense. It's not a lot of like, right now it has Christmas cards in it, and that'll be thrown away right after Christmas. Sorry guys, I don't keep cards.
Yeah, no, I don't either.
Like I get it, I hold it on for the month, and then I throw them out. I'm sorry.
My mom hangs on to them until next year, and then she throws them out and then like replaces them.
Oh, that's kind of cute. Because then when you're putting up like decorations and stuff, it's like, oh, look at all these cards from last year. And then you're getting the
Yeah.
new cards to replace them.
And then she remembers like who actually sends cards back to her, so she knows like who to send cards to.
Hmm. I hope she gets mine because I did send her one. But yeah, our junk drawer is pretty, like, there's not a lot of stuff that I would go and get rid of because a lot of it's like a small tape measure just in case you need to, like, because
Mm-hmm.
I do find myself like, oh, how big is that area? I might want to get something for this spot in my house, and I could just
Right.
go quick and like grab it. It's almost like a little mini toolbox for our kitchen, I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah,
But
that's
it
kind of
does
how ours
drive
is too.
me it does drive me up a wall. And Tom was the one who's like, no, we need a junk drawer. I'm like, I fucking hate junk drawers. Like, your mother had like has three. I'm like, I
Yeah.
can't stand them. I'm like, it's only this one. Like, I swear to God, like, oh, and I
Yeah.
still hate it because in my mind, all of that stuff could really realistically go in the garage.
Right.
He just doesn't want to put them in the garage.
Yeah. Everybody's got one, I feel like. Let us know, peeps. Do you have a junk drawer in your house? What's in it?
I do feel, yeah, what's in it? Tell us more. I do feel though, like, yes, everybody has a junk drawer, even if you hate it.
Yeah, I feel like they do too, but we'll find out, I guess.
If anybody ever replies.
Yeah, if people reply, if they decide that they like us. I have to say, I was going through this list of that somebody published that said like no brainer purges, like 20 things to get rid of that like you wouldn't have to get rid of without a second thought. And one of them was DVDs. And at first I was like, oh yeah, like I have a whole stack of DVDs downstairs. I should just get rid of them. And I was like, wait, I don't want to.
Or you could be like me and Tom. What we did is, because we switched out what was underneath our TV. Our TV had before had these like pocket drawers
Mm-hmm.
that easily held all of our DVDs.
Mm-hmm.
And then we upgraded to a fireplace that only had like two small drawers, couldn't keep all the DVDs. So what we did is we bought one container of like 100 DVD slots,
Mm-hmm.
and we put I did get rid of like a shit ton of DVDs, by the way. Like, I purged all the ones that like I knew Netflix and stuff had it, and I'm like, I know I'm not going to ever watch this. Like, I kept all of our Star Wars, like I kept some of the like ones that could be taken off any of those at any given time, but they're still like our favorites.
Yeah.
And put it into the small booklet, and that's it. And like, we're done. At least that way I'm saving space. I didn't get rid of them
because it's all in one thing.
because they're still like my favorites. Like, I have all the diehards. They're my favorite. I could watch them all day, every day.
Yeah,
like,
I have
not
like
getting rid of them.
I have every season of Sex and the City. I love it. I have every season of Nip Tuck and Entourage. Like, I don't want to get rid of it. So yeah, maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll get
because
a
at
sleeve
least
thing.
At least it saves space, and it was like $10 for like 100 or 120 DVDs. The only one that I actually kept in its case was Star Wars because it was a collectible one, and it had like the nice little box, and it still fit. It all fit in there. It was
it all fits in there. Yeah. So that's one thing you guys too can consider out there, unless you're like us. But kind of gave you a good idea. You can still get rid of all the little plastic boxes and put those in the recycling bin because we need, recycle.
Yes, I did recycle. I recycled and I donated. I think I ended up donating like one bag of like DVDs of stuff that I'm like, I really don't even care about this anymore. Like, I used to love this when I was young, but I don't particularly care anymore.
So there was another thing on the list that I was kind of like, well, I don't know. They said that you should automatically get rid of chipped dishes and mugs.
Yes, I don't have any of that.
I think I've got one, but like it's just one, and Jackson uses it, and it's not like a dangerous chip, so I don't know. It feels weird to just throw out one plate.
I would do it. Well, you know what though? It depends, because like if it's gonna fuck up your whole set, then I probably wouldn't. But like if it's not really like a dangerous chip or you can't really notice it or it doesn't particularly matter, then like yeah, keep it. But like if I had a bunch, I would be like, yeah, okay, it's time to get some new mugs or
Oh
whatever.
yeah, yeah. If I had a bunch, absolutely. But I just have one plate, and it literally would mess up the entire set. You can notice it because the plates are red, so obviously, like if it's chipped, it's like white now. But
Ah,
it's one plate, and I'm like, ugh. But yeah, if I had a bunch of them, I'd absolutely get rid of it. So that was one of the things. And then of course they said like old linen, and I was like, well, duh. Like who
who's
hangs
keeping
on?
old linens?
Yeah, who's giving old linens? I mean, for what? Like, I mean, I guess you could cut a piece out of it and dust with it, but then get rid of
Yeah,
the
that's
rest of
what
it.
I kept one pillowcase and I cut it up into like 4 squares for dusting, and that's literally it.
Yeah, but you ain't keeping the entire set. So
No,
it's kind of
no.
like,
And it really wasn't an old set. It was just like all of my pillows are king sized pillows, and these are like twin sized pillowcases. And it came with like, because all queen sets come with twin sized pillowcases.
mm-hmm,
So I just kind of like got rid of all the other pillowcases. I kept the like sheet for the actual bed and sheets for the bed, but I got
mm-hmm.
rid of the pillowcases and only kept like 2 of them for dusting.
Yeah, because I actually noticed the other day, I need to get rid of some sheets because what did we do? We have the double and we have the queen, and then we have the California. And there's like some random sheets in there that don't fit anything. And I'm like, where the flip did these sheets come from? Like, I'm gonna go like donate them to like the animal hospital or something.
Yeah, I mean, doesn't hurt, right?
Well, obviously I'm not gonna use them. They don't fit any of
Yeah.
my beds. So
That's hilarious though. It's like, what are you? What is going on here?
yeah, and then I have like an extra comforter because you know how it is. Sometimes you get bored and you're like, I want a new comforter. So I got a new comforter for the guest bed, and the old one was like faded and stuff. So I need to donate that too.
Ah, nice. I know I understand that because I'm like at that point where I'm getting bored of my comforter,
Hmm.
but at the same time, I really like it. um, it's just I have to sew on some buttons to make it better again.
Yeah, yeah, I got you. I have tried to find our aunt for the past 3 years Christmas sheets, and have been unsuccessful, and it's been pissing
How?
me off
How?
because she doesn't want fleece ones, and 99% of them, when you Google them, are
Our
fleece.
flannel are like those flannel or
Yeah,
fleece.
flannel, fleece, whatever you want to call
They're
them.
not just regular sheets. Yeah, you're
Yeah,
right.
and I finally had found a pair last year. I had ordered them. They were supposed to ship. They were coming from Pottery Barn, so she would have approved of them because you know that she likes the uppity stuff.
Uh,
And like, oh, 2 weeks later, it was like, sorry, we're out of this product. And I'm like, what the? I paid for them.
Son of a gun.
I know. I've been trying to do something nice for her because I don't know it. And yeah, and it's failed every year. So if anybody out there knows where the heck to get Christmas sheets that are not flannel,
Flannel.
let a girl know.
Actually, I thought I saw some at Costco, but I thought they were just
Hey,
regular cotton Costco sheets.
if you see them at Costco, let me know.
Ship them from Costco to her, right? I'm
I
sure you
don't
could
have.
do it online.
You'd have to help me because I don't have
Oh, a
I don't
Costco card?
I don't have yeah, there you go. I don't have a Costco card. So you would have to help me.
Oh, well, we'll figure it out. Yeah, you are right. Most of them are flannel. I thought I saw some at Kohl's though that weren't this Black Friday. I don't know.
I don't know. I have not had any luck, and I haven't really done much in stores lately because I just haven't, and I have to ship it anyway. So I was just gonna,
Oh,
it's
you really
easier
do.
just to
Yeah.
buy it online and have them ship it for
To
me
her, yeah.
to her instead of like shipping it to me and then shipping it to her again.
Oh no, yeah, that would be silly. And you're in
Yeah,
Hawaii, so that'd be even worse.
yeah. So it's just been like, no.
So do you do anything to like help you stay organized?
Um, I'm trying to think what I do. I do. In our bedroom, well, I guess in our closet, we have a walk-in closet. I have these like, I guess they're like boxes kind of, but you know, you like build them together and like there's a whole bunch of them stacked.
Yeah.
Like there's these boxes,
Yes, yes,
and
yes. Yeah.
both Kyle and Jackson have them because it's just they have t-shirts and shorts and stuff, and it's super easy. And then Jackson doesn't have to worry about like opening and closing stuff. So I do that for the boys. They have these
Those
little
bins,
those
the stackable bins.
yeah, and they're not even, I guess, are they bins? Yeah, I guess they're bins. Like the ones that you would normally put those little boxes in, but without the boxes. Like it's
Yeah.
just like, yeah. So I do those for them, and I feel like that's super helpful because it also saves space. And then like the top of it, you can like put shoes on top of it or whatever. So
Yeah.
it gives you like two benefits. And I'm trying to think what else I do. I'm a pretty organized person in general because I don't, like we talked about at the beginning, I don't do clutter. Connie and I both don't do clutter.
Nope.
Like my linen closet is folded all nice, and yeah.
The only thing that I don't really have at the moment that isn't folded as nice as I would want them is my, what are those? The like rags. I have a bunch of rags. Those aren't folded nice. Sorry, guys. But everything else. Actually,
Sorry, guys.
I started folding. That was a dog. I'm sorry. I started folding from the Marie Kondo way, actually, from that Netflix series. I like it because I literally anything to save space. And then how she folds things, everything is basically in like a little folder almost, like that's all really like thin and small for the most part. So it saves me some fucking space.
Well, there you go.
I need all the space I can get. I have tiny drawers for my dresser, and I have tiny closets.
I love how you're like tiny drawers.
I do. They're tiny. Well, a lot of dressers that you have nowadays, they have like those deep drawers. And mine are all like these really thin, and there's many of them drawers. And it's like, this is not helpful.
Right. Yeah. This
like
does nothing for me.
One drawer can hold 2 sweaters. Great. I have like 7.
Right. That's one thing I do like about our bed frame. Like when we got a bigger bed, we bought a bed frame that has drawers in it. And I love that it has drawers in it because at the very least, like you can put like your socks and your underwear and your bras and your swimsuits and stuff in there, and it's in a really easy place. So in your pajamas, because it's right next to your bed, so your pajamas make sense to go in there.
Yeah. Under my bed right now are all of my summer clothes. Big sad. Bye summer, hello winter, but I'm still missing the snow. I think the only other thing that I do is like I try to, like, every day if I see something like out of place that shouldn't be there, like I like, especially like the kitchen like the kitchen table, how often do you come home, you put down your keys, and it just stays there. Like I try to go through the house and make sure that like everything, like as I do stuff, I'm like, okay, this is all back in its place. Like there's nothing that's out that shouldn't be, because, and I don't know if it's because of family or what, but a certain aunt of ours always used to criticize my mom for having like mail out, for having like pens and paper and stuff like that by like her phone, and like having like too much junk by the phone. So like now I'm like, well, I can't have junk out, that means you're like messy. So like I try to make sure that like there's nothing basically quote unquote out of place, because that's what messy. And then you're taking all of your time on the weekend not to really clean, but to just put back things where they belong.
Yeah, exactly. I'm the same way too. I don't like clutter. Like Jackson's school stuff has been sitting on our kitchen table for the last 3 months now, obviously because we're doing homeschooling, and since he's on break right now, I literally was like, okay, this goes into your room now because I can't look at it anymore.
Exactly. This is where this belongs now. Bye.
And especially like my kitchen counter and my bathroom counter are the 2 places that I'm like, no. I don't want to look at a bunch of shit. Like it needs to be put away. Yeah, it needs to be away. I don't like it.
So okay, this is kind of a funny story about like bathroom clutter. So when we remodeled, Tom insisted we cannot have our toothbrushes out. People who have their toothbrushes out, it's not good. Like it looks messy, blah, 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 blah.
Mm-hmm.
So I got a little plastic container that's as long as our toothbrush. It's in our drawer. That's where we put our toothbrushes. And like it drives me absolutely up the fucking wall when he brushes his teeth and leaves it in the sink. I have a plastic dish. It is in the drawer. Put it in the goddamn drawer. You said you did not want the freaking toothbrush out. So if that is the case, put it in the drawer.
Yeah.
So first of all. Second of all, then it was even funnier because his brother came over and was like, saw like his brother's toothbrush in the sink and was like, what? Can you guys not afford a toothbrush holder like that goes on your counter? And I was like, no, your asshole brother is like, we cannot have any counter clutter. So it's supposed to go in the gosh darn drawer where I put the plastic container so it doesn't ruin the drawer and it doesn't get like hairy or gross. It's just a little plastic thing in the drawer. Like, gosh darn it. Anyhow.
That's awesome. Yeah. I think I'll let my toothbrush be out just occasionally when it's charging because I have an electric. But yeah, other than that, we have a huge bathroom closet, so we have no reason to have anything out. The only thing that is out on the counter is the soap, like the soap to wash your hands, the soap dispenser,
yes,
and this little glass box that Kyle gave me for my jewelry to go in, and that's it. There's nothing else on the counter.
Actually, I realized I was turning into my mom one night when I was like washing my face, brushing my teeth, right? And I took off my jewelry and laid it on the counter. And like I was going to just leave it there because that's what my mom does. I was like, oh my God, I'm turning into my mother. No, they have to go away. Like you should not just be leaving all of your jewelry out on your, like, especially when you have no room like me, out on your kitchen sink because that's what my mom would do.
Yeah, I also can't do that because my cat will run off with everything. My cat will be like, oh, look, rings and stuff to play with.
This is mine now.
Yeah. So I guess we should probably at least give you guys a list because we did ramble a little bit today. Not terribly, but a little bit of just like ways that you can yourself. Yeah, you can organize and declutter. Like we kind of talked about at the beginning, you can get those plastic totes, honestly, are some of the best inventions, like especially for us too, like because we move all the time. If I already have stuff in a bunch of plastic totes, then when we move, I don't have to do anything. It's already in a plastic tote. It's already marked what it is. Like saves so much time. And there's a whole bunch of different kinds. There's big ones, there's little ones, there's long ones, there's skinny ones. There's tougher ones, like for the ones in the garage and like the ones for like Kyle's military stuff. There's the tough duty, like gorilla cases that you can use. So I find those to be really helpful. And like Connie talked about her ornament organizers. There's cloth ones like she has, and then like the plastic containers too. Since
there's all sorts of organizers.
Yeah.
You can get anything to fit your needs.
Absolutely. And whatever you like to do. And like we talked about, start out slow. If you're new to the organizing game, do 5 minutes a day or give one item away a day. You don't have to do it, you don't have to do it all in one day. It's okay to take it slow because you will get there. And for people that have anxiety, you don't want to set yourself off on a anxiety trip.
Exactly. And for those people, 5 minutes a day, not a big deal. Yeah.
And
slowly
like Connie,
but surely.
Exactly. And then like Connie talked about too, if you clean a little bit every day, you won't become so overwhelmed with the cleaning when you have to do it all in one big giant swoop. So,
exactly.
Clean your kitchen a little bit today, clean your guest bathroom tomorrow, clean your powder room.
And then it's also not as grody. Like if you clean up like as you go, or like at least a little bit every day, you don't have weeks worth of grime everywhere. Right. You just have a little bit. You just have to do a little wipe. Not a big deal versus having to like scrub some old pasta sauce off your cabinets or whatever. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I love the word grody. I'm so glad you used that.
Anytime.
And if you're like me, I do like little bits of cleaning all week and then I still do a massive clean once a week, but that's just because that's how I am. You don't have to do that. You could just do your little cleanings. And as long as things aren't buried under hair or whatever, you're doing a good job.
Wow, we are cousins. I do basically the same thing.
Mm-hmm. It's also probably what we've learned because our parents are probably the same. So yeah.
Exactly. Uh, so figure out what you like best. If you need some tricks to stay organized because you have very little space, I really like how Marie Kondo folds and like organizes stuff. It saves me a lot of space. So look that shit up. It's on Netflix. And so this is how to do when shit gets real. Tell us how you organize. Give us all the details and see us on social media. And we'll see you next time.